In this episode of Growing Your Sense of Self Through Self-Defense, we're going to look at a defense against a forward chokehold. Now, we've seen these before, but now we're going to look at it start to finish, from the escape to the takedown to the finishing move. So it's all putting pieces together, all the pieces that we've seen before. And this episode is not going to be so much instructional in nature because these are pieces we've seen before. We're just stringing them together. The intent of it is to be more motivational, more inspirational. And for me, it's sort of a personal cleansing kind of thing. It's a couple of years ago that a dear friend of ours, family friends, their eldest daughter, Miss Kahla, who was in her early 20s at the time, was walking alone on a street in Seattle. And some sort of seedy-looking guy, young man, came up to her and asked her for money. And she blew him off, and she continued walking. And this guy followed her and caught up to her and threw her against the fence and started to choke her with this forward choking move. Now, she thought about kicking him in the groin. You know, her mind's racing, and the way he was holding her, the length of his arms, she wasn't able to really get a leg free and kick him in the groin. And she was struggling the way people might struggle that don't know what to do when being choked, to the point where she started to lose consciousness. And as she started to pass out, he loosened his grip to move in close to get her money. And she had not yet lost consciousness, and when he loosened his grip and came in close, now he was in range. Now she was able to kick him in the groin. He went down and she ran off. So she was able to avoid both being robbed and being hurt worse than she was. And she subsequently got a big dog, so she didn't have to walk streets by herself any longer. Now, it would have been good. For weeks afterwards, she carried the marks of the assault on her neck. It was that intense, black and blue throughout. And it would have been good for her to know some of these techniques that we're going to go over again today. At the time, I wasn't that far along in this program, and it's always been one of my desires to make this episode. But we had to lay enough groundwork so we can get to this point. So you can see these techniques used in an intense manner that would have been appropriate at that time and place for Miss Kahla. So we're here today at Flying Tiger Martial Arts in Garner, North Carolina. My partner today will be Miss Valerie. Miss Valerie and I have trained together for years. She is also a black belt. She's very good. And she's an appropriate person to use to play, in a sense, in the role of a victim being choked with these chokes. So the techniques we'll see, we've seen them before. If a person's choking from the front, one of the techniques you can use is this windmill kind of thing, get your head out of the way. And now it's lined up for a universal. Take this arm, boom, and take down. She'll go down on her face, which allows for that finishing technique that we've also seen before. The second choke technique that we'll do, if you remember, is that sort of hit the magic button underneath the elbows. As she slides back, I'm going to take her wrist and pull her back this way for an outside wrist lock. She'll go down on her back, and then I can do that step around to snap an arm out of place and a shoulder. So Miss Valerie, we're not really instructing so much. Like I say, this is more inspirational. So we're just going to sort of do these in real-life situation. I'm going to put my hands on pretty good. She's going to get out real and take me down pretty good. All right, so that was, part of this is, you can stay here, Miss Valerie. Part of this was cleansing for me. I appreciate the washing. This is an episode dedicated to Miss Kahla. Thank you. So next time, kamsahamnida. Toodles.